Hi guys, so today we're going to be making some M&M cookies, and I don't have a mixer or anything yet, so I'm going to be doing this all by hand. So I figured you guys would like to kind of like see how it's done by hand without any equipment. So here we go. Okay, so here we have the butter in the bowl. It takes a cup, so we'll just add the second butter here. And then what you do is you just mix it. You want to cream it up, mush it all down like that, and stir. I don't use a whip for this because the whip gets into the, or the butter gets into the whip too much and sticks, and then you're not really mixing anything. Like, as bad as it's doing to the spoon, it does it worse. I mean, you just hit the spoon a few times and it comes off, but okay. So now the next thing that we need to do is add the brown sugar. And the recipe calls for 2/3 cup brown sugar. So when you measure your brown sugar, you always have to push it down into the cup. You always pack your brown sugar. And just a quick tip, if you ever run out of brown sugar, what you do is you have regular granulated sugar, and then I break it up. So that's 1/3, one more of those. If you have granulated sugar and molasses, you just mix them together, and then that's your brown sugar, because that's all brown sugar is this regular granulated sugar and molasses. So if you have a well-stocked pantry, you should have molasses and granulated sugar if you ever run out in the middle of a recipe that you can do. Okay, and then after, also, if you ever go to use your brown sugar and it's hard, you can always take a piece of bread and put it in your brown sugar overnight, depending on how bad it's stiffened up, and it'll soften right back up for you, so it's not ruined. And then after each addition, you'll want to stir it up so that it's well combined, because again, if you don't have an electric mixer or hand mixer, you know, our ancestors didn't have that, so you know, you are able to still bake things and make things if you don't have all the fancy equipment. And this is how come our grandmothers had good strength up until they were in their 80s and whatever, because they had to cook using their own steam. And personally, I think it just tastes better. Okay, so that's all nice and mixed up there. So then the next ingredient is 2/3 cups of regular granulated sugar. That's 1. And I'm using a combination of unbleached and bleached granulated sugar, which is why it's kind of brownish looking, is because I had gotten some natural, healthier sugar. because just like unbleached flour is better for you than bleached. So I was thinking that it would be the same way with the sugar. I really couldn't tell a difference in taste or anything, so next time you're at the store and they're having a sale on unbleached sugar, go ahead and buy it. Try it out. Okay. So knock it off the spoon there. So now we got that there. And then the next one is we're going to add an egg. In order not to get any shells in it, what you do is you drop the egg on the counter, and then supposedly no shells. I don't know why that works, but it does. Instead of trying to crack it with your thumb or hitting it on the side of the dish, you just let it fall on the counter and then add it. I have never gotten a shell in my stuff doing it that way. And then as you've seen, I kind of like mixed up the egg first before I added it into the rest of the stuff. It's just easier. And believe you me, this does give your arm a workout. Okay, then the next one is vanilla. I actually make my own vanilla. So I get vanilla beans, and I get a vodka, believe it or not, because alcohol will cook out and bake out. So I get some vanilla beans and slice them up the middle and then throw them in the bottle of whiskey. And then depending on how long you leave it set, depends on the darkness of the vanilla. And so you want 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. And I'm able to make a huge bottle of vanilla without any additives or anything. It's just pure vanilla for a lot cheaper than I can go to the store and buy a small bottle of vanilla that has other ingredients in it, preservatives and all of that other monkey stuff in it. And then you just stir that up real good. You really can smell that vanilla. It smells good. Okay, now I'm going to set this aside for a minute so that we can mix up our dry ingredients. Okay, so the first thing that we want is 2 cups of flour. So 1, can you see that? And 2 cups. And then the next thing that we want is baking soda. With the baking soda, we want 1 1/4 teaspoons. So 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking soda. And we'll want 1 teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to fluff that up with our whisk and mix it up real good. And then very gradually add it to our mixture. More when it becomes, you know, more incorporated. You don't want to like over add it at the beginning. It's harder to make sure that it gets all mixed in good. I keep bumping you guys. Make sure you get that stuff down on the bottom there. If you don't do it now, you'll end up doing it later. And then there, that's the rest of it. If you like mixing with your hand, this is at the stage where you can get in there with your hand and mix it. I personally don't like that feeling. When I make fried bread, I'll mix that by hand, but I'm not a fan of it. It's just, it comes out better. See, all this stuff needs to get incorporated yet. This is the longest part of the whole thing. And then once it gets all incorporated really good, then you can add your M&Ms. And I'm just going to add 2 cups of M&Ms. So 1, 2. And then, I don't know, you just use your own judgment how much you want it to be mixed up. But see how easy that was, and we didn't even have an electric mixer or anything. And here's our M&M cookie dough. How easy was that? And it didn't take that long either. Now, the other thing that I like to do is, now that we have this all mixed up and whatever, we're going to let it rest. We're going to let it rest, and then while we're letting it rest, we're going to go over here to the oven, put it on. We're going to bake, and we'll just start it up there. We don't need the air dryer rack out. It's preheated. We will then start to put our cookies on the plate. Okay, so now that our oven is preheated, we're just going to take some of the cookie dough onto a teaspoon and just plop it on. And take it and put it into the oven. For about 10 minutes. Okay guys, so it's been about 10 minutes. And here's our nice, lovely cookies. The cookie sheet and put them on the rack to cool. Now, sometimes you need to let them, if you don't want them to get all messed up like that, you leave them on the cookie sheet for a quick minute for them just to stiffen up. See, like they're already starting to stiffen up so that they look a little better. But they taste the same, right? All right, and then you just do it all over again. You just scoop out, put on, repeat. Hey guys, so all done making the cookies. They turned out really great, and the cookie jar is now full. There. They're all good, all up in there. Yeah. So thanks for coming along with me today and making some cookies. Next week we'll make not a dessert. Maybe we'll make tater tot casserole or something like that. So, or we may go on an adventure to a park somewhere. Who knows what I'll be up to. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, the little bell, so that you get notified every time I post a video. And please hit the thumbs up for me. It really does help. And thanks for watching. Bye, guys.